Hi, and welcome to this live reading from The Sacrifice, Dragonpets Book 1 by R.L.S. Hoff, and this is presented by Itsy Bitsy Book Bits. Chapter 1, Missing Memories. I should have been worried about the dragon. A gold gust of wind snatched my breath away. The chains that shackled me to the iron loop in the rock ledge above my head rattled at my futile effort to free myself. The clanging echoed, but brought only noise, not freedom. My mind felt muddled, thick with a weary haze that wouldn't clear. I couldn't find the will to try any harder. I wondered at my lethargy. It wasn't like me, and neither was the flimsy finery I'd let the giggling palace girls talk me into wearing. Why had I agreed to don this ridiculous ball gown again? My thoughts felt sluggish, and my memory seemed foggy. Was it the drink they'd given me before I dressed, or could Sir Drake have pressed some mind magic on me to make me docile? I shuddered. Even if I'd been drugged and magically quieted, why hadn't I insisted on my own clothes? I'd known they were readying me for this, to be sacrificed, left in the mountains for the dragon. Surely I wasn't fool enough to imagine the bright silk and intricate lace would provide protection against the whistling wind in high altitude. The magician's soldiers had only been gone minutes before I longed for my comfortable woolen dress and thick homespun shawl. Now, I couldn't even remember what had happened to them, and the more I thought about it, the more the memory slipped from my grasp like an unruly piglet beneath my fingers. Not knowing where my clothes had gone didn't bother me so much, but some of the other holes in my memory disturbed me. I remembered my home, the farm on the side of the hill with the squat, thatch-roofed buildings and smell of manure. I also remembered the airy palace of cool pink marble, but try as I might, I couldn't recall how I'd gone from the one to the other. That bit of memory was gone, and I couldn't help poking at it the way my little brothers always poked with their tongues at the holes left after teeth came out. 2 threads of steam slipped from the cave in front of me, thickened, merged, and filled the whole mountain dell. Relief sagged through me, though part of me realized the smoke meant the dragon was getting closer. Steam curled around me, and I couldn't help appreciating the warmth. My fingers and toes screamed as sensation returned to them, but I'd felt worse after 12th month mornings milking the cows, and I knew I'd retain the use of them all. Well, I would if I lived long enough, which didn't seem likely. What did it matter if a sacrifice could feel her fingers? She'd hardly need them tomorrow. I laughed, and the sound echoed, growing raucous and insane as it bounced across the valley and back. Why had I agreed to this again? There was a reason I knew, but like my memory of going to the palace, it eluded me. It seemed unnatural the way my mind skimmed over these things as if it had been altered, though I couldn't imagine why anyone would have bothered to tinker with my memories. Why Sir Drake would have bothered. After all, he was the only magician powerful enough to tinker with my memories. But why would he want to spend his precious magical energy altering the mind of a country girl, destined to be set out like a cow for a dragon? Yet something blocked me from my own mind. It was a puzzle so engrossing that I didn't see the long black snout poking out of the cave until it jerked in my direction, and the dragon captured me with its emerald gaze. Such beautiful eyes for such a horrible beast. I knew I should look away. Everyone always said it was death to get trapped in a dragon's mesmerizing stare, but it was too late now. And besides, what difference would it make? I was already on the menu. The dragon chuckled. Then it flashed forward so quickly that I saw nothing but a blur until its hot scales pressed against me. The creature coiled around me, squeezing between me and the rock wall at my back, and then circling around to the front. I squeaked, sounding frightened even to my own ears as it looped around me twice more, enclosing me so that I could not move. I felt no pain, however, not even from the claw that rested on my right shoulder, nor from the one that lifted my chin, so that I had no choice but to stare up the long, black snout into the beast's eyes. In my mind, a deep musical voice thrummed. What are you doing here? Where's my cow? How could he talk to me in my head like that way? Fool, I'm a dragon. This is how we speak. Now where's my cow? Your cow, I'm the sacrifice this year. You'd rather have a cow? The dragon snorted, and steam billowed at me, hot, though no hotter than what came off the pot when I lifted the lid to see how the porridge was faring. The steam was thicker, though, and for a moment I couldn't see the dragon's eyes. I glanced down. When the air cleared, I noticed a golden choker around the dragon's neck before the claw under my chin forced my gaze back to the dragon's eyes. They glittered, and the voice in my mind took on a commanding tone. Tell the truth. My whole body stiffened at the command, but as I knew nothing more about cow sacrifices than I did before, all I could say was, I don't know anything about a cow. The green eyes above me seemed to grow larger until they were all I could see, my whole world. You believe this to be true, but not all of you. Excuse me? I fought to keep my voice steady. Part of you knows, but the knowledge has been hidden from your awareness. Do I have your permission to enter fully into your mind and look for the answers I seek? You need my permission? The dragon snorted again. This time, the fog that passed before my eyes was brief, and when it cleared away, the dragon's eyes had returned to their normal size. I do not need your permission, but I want it. If I must force my way into your mind, the process will be much more painful for you, and I would not hurt you more than I must. But I will use force if I have to. I need to know what Sir Drake is plotting against me. Sir Drake? I can't imagine that the king's magician would have confided in me. Ah, but who else could have locked your own thoughts away from you? I considered my slippery memory. Perhaps the dragon was right. I agree, I whispered, closing my eyes. Do what you need to do. Look at me. The musical tones sounded almost sorry for me. I opened my eyes and stared directly into his deep green ones. They expanded again until it seemed like I floated inside a sea of green. A soft touch, like a silken thread, wound sinuously through my head, and where it touched, memories flared. The smell of my mother's bread fresh from the oven, the fiery light of a new day, the touch of my baby brother's hand in mine, the feel of mud between my toes as I stood on the bank of the stream next to the upper fields. Then there was a blankness, a lack where there ought to have been something. What is that? I whispered. This is going to hurt, I'm afraid. What? No! A flash of white-hot pain ripped through my skull, and memories roared in like water over a cliff. For a moment, I was back at the farm, standing in the woods with a basket of freshly picked mushrooms over one arm, when a great purple beast dove from the skies, burning all before it. The fields smoked. The house, stable, barns, and chicken coop roared with flames so fierce that my mother and youngest siblings had no chance to escape, nor could the horses and pigs get out. I would hear the mingled screams of people and animals and smell the sick, sweet smell of burning flesh from now until the end of time. Or I would if no one locked the memories away from me again. I'd run toward the house that day, knowing even as I ran that I would be too late, but no one could possibly get out, but something in me wouldn't let me give up hope. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw something moving in the field. Before I could fully comprehend what I was seeing, the dragon plunged faster than an arrow and swallowed my eldest brother whole. There wasn't time for Khan to yell out in either anger or fear before he disappeared inside the dragon's maw. My father screamed. Roaring like an enraged beast and waving a pitchfork, he hobbled toward the purple beast. The dragon laughed with a deep, earth-shaking sound that froze me where I stood, but Papa kept moving. The dragon swiped a claw at him, knocking the pitchfork into the next field. Then Papa followed Khan into the beast's maw. At that, Lark, my elder by less than a year, squealed like a stuck pig and ran for the forest. The dragon swallowed him before he even made it out of the fields. The screams from the house and barns stopped, and heat rose all around me. I stood amongst the wreckage of my home and wondered why I was still alive. The dragon turned toward me as if summoned by my thoughts. It leapt into the air, spread its wings, and alighted in front of me, fixing me with obsidian eyes. Never look a dragon in the eye, Papa had always said. It will be the last thing you do. In that moment, I hoped he was right. The dragon laughed again. The ground trembled beneath me, and though I struggled to stay upright, I refused to bend before this monster. Well, you're a feisty one, aren't you? Pretty, too. I believe I'll keep you. You'll do nothing of the sort, I said. The tremors in my voice sounded pathetic, but at least I was speaking. Ah, little one, who will stop me? The dragon breathed on me. My feet buckled beneath me. and I remembered no more until I woke wearing strange night clothes in a fancy bed in the palace.